Hello guys, in this video I'm going to share with you my massive mixing operation in the game Shuttle 1 that takes place in the loading dock. I do have some lines that are fully automated in there, some lines that are, one line that is partially automated, so if you're a person who is trying to get into the mixing automation, this video is going to have all the information you need. And also a quite neat, clean setup for you to maybe use. So I'll be going over the equipment setup, the whatever you need to set up with workers, deliveries, basically everything you need to know. And just one final mention is that this is only used for mixing. All the actual raw products that are used here come from other properties. Alright, without further ado, let's start by overviewing the equipment setup and factory setup rather. So I have a fully automated 8-step mixing line on the left, the same on the right, and in the center I have a partially automated 8-step mix line. Whenever I say fully automated, it just means that you don't need to manually provide mixers to the line. Everything is being done automatically by workers using the loading docks. And partially automated lines, you actually have to supply the mixers to the shelves yourself. It's actually more efficient to do it this way, but yeah, everything is going to be covered in this video, so you'll decide what works for you. Also, I've mentioned that every line is 8-step, but if you want it, you could you can make it like 4 and 4 and whatever 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. Break it down however you like, actually. And it will not require a full redesign whatsoever, or any redesign whatsoever. The only thing is, if you want to redesign it, you'll probably, you have to add things, like a couple of things, just a brick press and an output shelf for whatever. And there's plenty of room in the back here that you can use for that. So yeah, with this being said, also the products and the recipes you can choose freely. The setup will not change. Okay, let's get into more detail on the fully automated line first. The equipment, how is it set up? So first here we have a small storage closet in the corner. Right next to the ladder, 2 squares apart from the wall, we have a huge storage closet. Behind it we have our first mixing station, and 7 more right next to it, going further back. In this back room we have a brick press right next to this separating wall, and a huge storage closet right next to the brick press. And this is everything regarding the fully automated line. This left side is fully mirrored, so I'll just quickly show you. Small storage closet, huge storage closet, 8 mixers, brick press, output, a huge storage closet. And also in the back here, just for convenience, we have a huge storage closet spanning from one wall to the other. This leaves us with just our center partially automated line that we have to cover. Alright, so we already discussed these mixers, and 2 squares apart from them, we place 4 mixers in the line. 2 squares away apart from them, we place large storage closets corresponding to each mixing station, and then we just mirror that to the other side. So storage closet, a large storage closet next to this one for each one, and 2 squares apart, and another 4 mixing stations. Alright. In the back here, in the center, we have a brick press, and 2 squares apart, a huge storage closet for the output. And at the front, we have a huge storage closet like this, just to store the raw product. For me, it's cocaine. And you could have also seen and noticed these packaging stations to the sides, and it's just for you to be able to quickly break down the whatever products you're using for the lines. So for this right line, I'm using the shrooms, so I can quickly break down the bricks here into product and put it here in this storage that is used for storing the raw product that is being used by the lines. So yeah, in this game you cannot really automate everything. So the only thing you actually have to do is just provide the raw product in the fully automated line. You cannot automate it any further. Okay, so this is for the left line, and for the middle line I do have... So this is everything for the first floor, and the second floor is just personnel lockers next to the railing on one side and on the other side, 6 on each side. This is just whatever storage I might need. I'm not using it, it's just there. And the only relevant thing here is this packaging station that I use for the whatever raw product in the center line. And this is used for storing the bricks. Okay, that's it. This is just a cozy room for me. Yeah, this is pretty much it. Let's just set everything else up now. Alright, let's start with fully automated line, and I'll be backtracking for you to follow the process more clearly. So we'll start with the final product, and then we'll be backtracking to the start. Okay, so the final product is being stored in this huge storage closet. It comes from this brick press, so we gotta press select destination for the brick press, set it up to this huge storage closet. Then how does anything get to the brick press? Well, these mixers, 8 mixers, represent stages of your recipe. So this is the first stage, closer to the entrance, and every next, like all the other mixers represent the further stages. So this is the last stage. So your final product is going to be made here, and that's why you select this mixing station, select its destination to the brick press. And also you want to set the threshold to 20 for every single mixer. I'm not going to mention it in the future. All right. So for every other mixer, you want to just set its output destination to the next one. So for the 7th is going to be the 8th, for the 6th, 7th, etc. All the way up to the start. And now the only thing left is for us to set up, like, how does anything get, well, first of all, to the first. Yeah, how does anything get to the first mixer? Well, it's coming from this huge storage closet. The raw product is stored here. And we gotta assign one of the workers, one of the handlers. We gotta set the routes from this storage closet to the mixing station, to the first mixing station. That is how the product is gonna be moved from the closet here. And for every other mixer, the product is gonna come from previous mixer. We've already set it up right now with destinations. Okay, and the last part we want to set up for the mixers is, well, as I said, every single mixer corresponds to the step in your recipe. So we want to apply the filter for the allowed items. So the mixers are gonna come from the storage, from the loading dock. So there's gonna be a truck coming in with all the necessary supply for the line, and for your workers to know from, like, what mixers go where, you gotta assign the filters. So the first step, I'm using the banana, so I whitelist the banana. The second cuke, I assign the whitelist to the cuke filter, etc. All the way up to the last step. Now that we've defined what we want to use in each step, we just gotta actually assign the handler to move the mixers from the loading dock to every mixer. So we just find, let's say, like this handler I have. And well, I've decided that the left line is going to be supplied by the first loading dock, and the right line is going to be supplied by the second loading dock. So I select one of the handlers, set its routes from loading dock 1 to mixing stations on the left side. It's 5 of 8, and the other 3 you just gotta use the other. Let's find the one I'm using. So yeah, this one is used for the leftover docks, or sorry, mixing stations. And after you set it up, that's basically it. The only thing left for you is just to select whatever chemist and assign the mixing stations to them. It's very easy. So the actual amount of workers you need for this is 6 chemists and 6 handlers. The one thing I just want to also mention is that it's very important, by the way, and I learned it the hard way. If you have repeating ingredients, repeating mixers in your recipe, you want to make sure that you assign the same chemist to operate these machines. So let's say I have Cuke used as a mixer on the step 2 and then on the step 5. So I want to make sure that the same chemist operates these machines on the step 2 and on the step 5. That's exactly what I'm doing right here. So that's why it's not from first to the 4th. It's rather from the 2nd to the 5th. I will not explain why it's so, other than if you don't do that, it might get stuck. The process might get stuck at some point. So they will put the mixer to the later stage first, and to the previous, then to the previous, and so the product will not be able to move through the stage without the mixer. Hopefully it makes sense. Okay, and now that we've covered that, this is everything for the fully automated line. And the partially automated lines we want to set up like this. So the output is here. Oh, is here. I've placed some random shit in here. I'll just remove it quickly. Sorry. Yeah. So this is the output closet. How do things get here? Well, from the brick press, you want to assign the brick press destination to this closet. How do things get to the brick press? I've decided that the stages are gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side, on the, I guess, right side. So once again, 1, 2, 3, 4. And on the left side, it's 5, 6, 7, 8. It's very important that you keep track of that. So, as I said, the last step is this one. So its destination is the brick press, as it's the mixing station where the final product is gonna be made. And all the other mixing stations gotta have their destination set up to the next step. So for the 7th, it's the 8th, etc. Okay, and as we did before, well, actually, yeah, as we did before, the first mixing station gotta have its input coming in from this closet, and for that you're using one of the handlers. So you select the route, one of the routes, to be from this huge storage closet to this first mixing station. All the other mixing stations are gonna receive the product from the previous stage of the mixer. We've set it up already. And mixers are gonna come in from, and that's what's different from the fully automated ones. It's gonna come in from the closets right in front of the mixing station. So it's this mixing station's mixer is gonna come from this closet. This is it's from this, and etc. So for that, you wanna select one of the handlers. So as you can see, I have this guy that has 5 routes set up from large storage closets to mixing stations. That's exactly what you have to do. So you set up route from here to here, from here to here, etc. So each corresponding large storage closet to the mixing station. And that is basically it. After you do that, you just want to, once again, select a chemist that is free. And I guess with partially automated line, it doesn't matter if you set up. So even if you have repeating ingredients, it doesn't matter which chemist does what. So yeah, you just assign whatever free chemists you have to the mixing stations, and you're golden. You're set. So once again, the only thing you have to do here is, well, first of all, supply the 3 huge storage chests at the start of each production line with raw product. And for the partially automated line, you want to supply the mixers as well. So the NPCs go through roughly 160 of each mixer in a day. So you want to supply 160 of each mixer per day. And it's kind of tedious, to be honest, but it's very efficient. Alright, so the one thing I would like to also mention, that you can only really go through 2 deliveries per day with the 8-step fully automated setup. It's unfortunately the way how it works right now, but I'll explain it anyway. So in a single delivery, you're able to queue up 320 mixers. So the amount of items you're able to queue up is 320, and it's just enough to feed 2 production cycles. And so the mixers are coming in. The first mixer is starting to work, then the second, and the first is being supplied by the mixer again, and it starts working again. But by that point, like, there's no more first mixer anymore in the trunk. So before you can queue up the delivery, you gotta empty out the truck fully, and you can only do that by the time both mixers get to the last stage and the last mixer is unloaded from the truck. Hopefully it makes sense. So yeah, so the max amount of mixers working at the same time with the setup is 2, and even then the truck unloads only, fully unloads as you finish up the last stage of the mix. And that is why you only then can requeue the delivery once again, and it's gonna take another 6 hours for it to arrive. And this is a problem with the way the game works right now. But to solve it, well, there's different ways. You can speed up the deliveries if you break it down in smaller fractions, so you make more deliveries instead of one singular batch. That's one way. But also I think more practical, to require less of your attention, is just to break down your recipes. Let's say you have 8-step mix and you just figure out 4-step mix and you use that. So instead of using one 8-step, you use 2 4-steps. And to do that, and why is it better? Just because, well, twice as many mixers are gonna work at the same time. So before it was 2 at max, and now if you break it down in half, it's gonna double. So 4 mixers are gonna work at the same time, and it's gonna quadruple if you break it down even more to 2-step mix if you want it. But you probably shouldn't break it down to 2-step mix because well, I'll explain how you would set it up. So I've explained the problem, I've explained the solutions, and now I'll show you how to actually set it up. So let's say you decide to break it down to 4-step mixes instead of 1 8-step. Then your final products are gonna be at this mixer, so it's the 4th mixer, and this mixer, it's gonna be the 4th mixer in this sequence. So yeah, it's the first sequence, 1 2 3 4, and it's the second sequence, 1 2 3 4. So this final mixer and this final mixer, you select it and set its destination to the brick press, as it's now like they are both representing the final product. And also now you have to supply with raw product the start of this line. So before it was one line where each step feeds the next one, but now if we break it down, this is the first step and we gotta supply it from the storage. So for that we select the worker that has some free routes, and this is the problem, that we only can have 3 free routes with this setup. So there's no point in breaking down everything to 4-step mixes because you're not going to have enough routes to fully automate it. That's basically the problem. All right, so, and yeah, and you would set up the route from this huge storage closet to the first step of the next line for 4-step. Okay. Hopefully it was helpful. And now I'll just show you the deliveries. So you have 2 shops, Gasmart West, Gasmart Central, and you want to just order there whatever ingredients you use for your recipes, and just make sure that you choose the right load and dock. So as I said, I decided that first load and dock is for the left line, so the recipe there should accept these mixers, and on the right it's like another order. And that's basically it. You order it once and then you just reorder it from the past orders menu. Bam bam. Yep. So yeah, as I said, you can up the output if you break down your production lines. And this is it. I think everything I wanted to discuss. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you found it helpful. Hopefully you found it the setup itself pleasing. And yeah, my explanation somewhat clear, hopefully. Anyway, thanks for watching, and see you in the next videos where I'm gonna break down my other setups. Have a good day.